waveform you can put in here. The waveform might look something like this. Okay? I would say that's pretty distorted. And let's just use sine waves as an example. Probably this will have a rich second and a small but significant odd order component. Now, what does that sound like? Hold on to that thought. Okay, and what if we lean this thing out? We make this way too fucking big, right? So there's plenty of headroom for the signal to go in, but this thing becomes a little sick. It will reproduce this signal, but it don't look too good. It's got a certain sort of fetid, jaundiced look to it, right? And it might look, actually what I would describe it as, the waveform probably looks something like this. It looks a little fat, and then it looks a little skinny. Probably something like that, and it might even get a little triangular on one hand here. And the symmetry might be not bad, but you will see that the duty cycle has been shifted, right? And what does that sound like? Okay, hold on to your thought. This sounds horrible, but it can be, with the right treatment, gloriously beautiful. Just by shifting RK, we've created those waveforms. All right. What if you took the optimum load for RL and you made it go away? You had like 100 ohms here instead of, let's assume this was a high mu tube, like a 12AX7. Normally you'd have 100 to 500K on RL, right? Something like that. Let's make it 10K. What would happen? Well, it ain't too pretty either. First of all, the level you'd have very little gain. It might even be less than what you put in. And it would be also extremely distorted, most likely clipped, similar to this, but in both phases. Because this is so loaded down, and there's not enough B plus for it to do anything. Okay, so what ends up happening here, if you reduce this to nothing, there's somewhat more symmetrical destruction of the waveform, but it's actually quite low impedance because B plus will be, there's plenty of current available, and depending on RP, you'll get, I can see everybody's tired and yawning, so I'm going to speed this up. Changing these parameters will radically distort your waveform, but in really different ways. And the harmonic content will be favored. My mouth's totally dry out of drink.
Cheers.
All right. So simply by maladjustment of the operating point, you can get an enormous range of ways, a palette of ways to completely fuck up your signal. Fair to say that, right? Okay. Well, it just so happens that I have built this for you. Okay, this is just a power supply. I have bolted to it a sub-miniature tube, and it has a pot instead of a plate resistor, and it's a 250K pot. So we can turn it from nothing to 250K. And this is only because I didn't have the right size. I have a 500 ohm trim pot. I wanted a 5K pot, but I just didn't have one. Okay, so I can adjust RK from nothing to 500 ohms, and I can adjust RL from nothing to 250K. Right? And momentarily, we're going to listen to this, and we'll change it, and we'll just see what that sounds like. It might be interesting for you, just to see what it would do. Okay. So, for a moment, I want to just talk about the solid state program. Make it really quick. The same circuit, I have a reason for this. I'm just going to show you the same exact circuit, but for a transistor. It's sort of, as much as it can be the same. Just to fuck with people and make it PNP.
Germanium, now favorite.
And we'll make B plus variable from 4.5 to 9 volts. It's a 9-volt battery and half. Okay, so you do that. So we can deliberately change to B plus. I should have done that with the other one too. That would be really slick. MOSFET, pot, just turn the B plus down to 10 volts. That'll also really fuck up your signal. Is that right, Frank?
Yes, of course.
Okay. I have built that here with a germanium transistor. One that will change its HFE when you go like this.
Okay.
It's the latest hit in pedal builders, Germanium.
Really ugly. All right, so I have these two identical ways where we can change the bias and we can change the load, and it will radically distort the signal. All right, okay. And then when we're finished doing that, we'll put them together.
Okay.
All right? So we'll fuck it up a lot, and then we'll fuck it up a lot. So we'll get fuck it up a lot squared. Okay. So let's start with